Hi y'all! If you're new here, welcome to the channel, and if you're returning, welcome back. I decided to do a little bit of decorating today and thought you all could join me, so let's get started. For a little context, if you're new to the channel, we are on my island Briar, which I am trying to complete in 2025, and I have several goals of what I consider completing my island, but the one most relevant to today's video is having a fully decorated island. So I'm going to start the build off in the back, and we are going to be working on a farm today. So this is a vegetable farm instead of a livestock farm, so I know a barn probably doesn't make the most amount of sense, but I wanted a structure to kind of ground the area of the build. So I'm using a gazebo and several storefronts to get this look, and then we'll add a lot of farm type decor to kind of sell the fact that it's a makeshift barn. And I really struggled with getting this spooky lantern set in place, and then also getting the surrounding items exactly how I wanted them, but I finally get there. And as you can see, I did pre-place the pathing for this build, just since that takes me a really long time to figure out how I want the pathing to be placed, and how I want all of the entrances and exits to the area to flow through. So if I included that in this video, it would be really long, even sped up. So for both of our sake, I do that in a little bit of a pre-planning process. And cute, looks like Fang is coming over to check on the build. I also tend to take a lot of pauses and sit back and try and figure out if I like how the build is turning out before I go too far down a rabbit hole. So bear with me as I pause and stand back and just kind of look at what's happened so far. It's just part of my process. The wheat fields are one of my favorite items in the game, but at the same time, they also really do annoy me. They add such good movement and texture to a build, but they're almost impossible to place where you actually want them the first time, since you can't drag them around. So a good portion of this build felt like I was just fighting with the wheat fields. I can also never find the color wheat field I want. Maybe that's on me for not having organized pockets, but it feels pretty similar to when you're trying to plant a specific type of weed and you have to keep picking it up and placing it back down to get the exact one that you want. So now that we've pretty much finished with the left-hand side of our barn, I'm gonna head over to the right. And I don't wanna clutter this space up too much, since I still want to be able to walk through on that path that I have. But just for a little bit of a consistency, I am gonna add a couple of wheat fields over here, as well as a couple of other farm type of items like the windmill and a silo. I'm just checking to see how much of the background of the build is visible from the front of the building, and looks like it's pretty much covered up other than just this one spot, so I'll add a couple of more wheat fields and then we should be good. And yep, looks good to me. Up next is getting all of the crops placed, and this part went pretty quickly, which was nice. The only real editing and adjusting I had to do was moving certain crops around a bit depending on the quantity. I didn't want to have a bunch of the same number all right in a row just to add a little bit of variation to the build, so I did move a couple of things here and there just to make sure that it was evenly spaced. Pumpkins were definitely the most difficult of the crops, just with all of the different color variations that they come in. So my method was just to kind of randomly place them all, trying to rotate between the 4 different colors, but I do still end up needing to make some adjustments at the end. And I'm curious, do you all like a speed build type of decorating video, or do you prefer the slower paced ones that have a little bit more talking about the process and showing, I guess, the decorating struggle in real time? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. There's quite a bit of decorating left that I need to do on the island, so I think I'll be uploading more videos in the future months showing the decorating progress in addition to my monthly update videos. So I would love to incorporate whatever you guys prefer into those decorating ones. Now we're moving on to the front of the farm and the last section of this build. I like to imagine that this is kind of like a little community garden where you can come pick your own vegetables or maybe hang out with some of the other villagers in town. So I wanted to include a little table and some common areas as well as a checkout counter for any produce that you may have picked. there we go, the farm is all done. So let's take a look at the finished product. Thank you all so much for watching. This is my first Animal Crossing speed build decorating type of video, so I would love to know what you all thought and if you'd like to see more. If you enjoyed, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!